One of the dumbest and most unpleasurably funny things I've ever encountered online is watching people look at the consequences of American imperialism. Just countries getting economically curb stomped decade after decade, and then blame the victims in the scenario. You see these profile pictures of these peanut-built dweebs wearing sunglasses indoors, American flag hung up on their wall with push pins, and they're just fighting against reality with this potent confidence and nonchalant nature that many people would murder for. Yeah, dude, I know that the UN has annually filed resolutions that condemn the embargo for the better half of a century now, and that literally every country on Earth aside from the Demon Squad are vehemently opposed to such barbaric economic sanctions. But you fail to understand that Cuba is struggling because communism bad. Did you know that communism is so bad that it makes people magically starve because it's communism? There's no other reason that I can think of off the top of my head that they would be starving.
So this is Cuba in the 1930s without it?
Yeah.
So they just turned it into a shithole. They turned the whole thing into a shithole. It's just like Iran?
Yeah, Cuba during this time, it was famously prosperous for everyone. Nobody had any problems at all. God, I love not looking into things beyond the surface. But then for some reason, some trickster decided to hit the bad economy button. Why would you press the bad economy button? Why would you even install the bad economy button? Cuba did this all to themselves. They invaded Venezuela and kidnapped the president who was exporting oil to them because it would be super based in funny communism. And there also doesn't happen to just be any superpowers out there attempting to punish other countries for helping Cuba not starve and experience crippling blackouts. Cuba is known as being a prankster state. They just do things for the bit. I also find it downright fascinating that another operation suspiciously similar to the Bay of Pigs operation happened, but it somehow failed more horribly than the first time. People are up in arms about Cuba returning fire. I'll say it again, returning fire at a boat full of, seemingly terrorists. But on that boat was an American citizen. But these people very quickly lost interest and then just went back to cheering as people starved to death. If it was an undercover Bay of Pigs-esque op, I just wonder historically how often the CIA recruited folks who were either schizophrenic meth heads or just had the same exact spiritual energy as schizophrenic meth heads. But we just didn't know this about them because social media wasn't around. I mean, if you think about it, it adds an element of surprise to the whole operation. Like, countries probably aren't expecting that. Although I think with this specifically, they jumped the shark a little bit. Yeah, I wonder if people approaching the country of Cuba on a boat full of weapons were planning on using the weapons. I wonder if the people who were heading to Cuba with Facebook feeds chock full of videos of people lighting Cuba on fire were attempting to light Cuba on fire. Were they up to no good? I don't know. I gotta put my thinking cap on for this one. The judge genuinely can't decide if they like Cuba or if they actually want every person there to be systematically starved. And a lot of the time when people defend the starvation of Cuba, they try to put on this lens of whether or not a country provides value to the world in some way, which is an incredibly brain-dead way of thinking. Cuba, yeah, the country with one of the most enriching and successful medical programs in the world, the country that exports and teaches incredibly gifted and well-trained medical professionals that every country around the world benefits from. Yeah, I'm not sure if they provide value to the world. And call this a hot take, but like, even if a country didn't meet this arbitrary bar of providing value to the world, I still don't think that you should have everybody in that country starve to death. Maybe I'm alone on that. I don't know. Who knows? It just seems counterproductive to me. Like, if you want them to provide value, maybe you should let them cook instead of systematically murdering them. Like, let's say Terrence over here didn't do anything special or achieve any goals in his 30, and he just turned 40. I don't think that the right move is to rip off his arms and legs. Maybe if we ripped off his arms and legs, he'd have a little more trouble achieving his goals. Like, that is just such a dumb way of thinking. And another thing that I find very interesting is some folks on the right and some folks cosplaying as revolutionaries on the left are calling the reporters, the social media creators, and the activists who are doing the Code Pink convoy delivery thing to Cuba, where they deliver food and supplies to a country in complete and utter crisis whilst bringing attention to it. They're calling those people performative. Ah, yes, the criticism of performative. I think at this point you can just call anything performative so long as it's documented and you don't like the people doing it. I don't know, if doing stuff like helping enrich supply flotillas and aid distribution is performative, enroll in your theater program, you fucking clown. Speak with your diaphragm, project your voice. I want to see your ass performing. That's about all I got to talk about today. It's a shorter Yap sesh. I got a Patreon, some cool stuff over there. I just made this video. I put a lot of hard work into it, and I think it's really funny, but it's just not getting a whole lot of love in the algorithm. So if you are bummed out that this video was a little short and you want to watch a longer vid, check that out. I will link it in the Patreon shout out. Also, you know, please subscribe to me. Peace out, have a wonderful day, and show me my patrons.